What's up, YouTube world? Jake here, episode 5, continuing with my countdown of my favorite Warrick Dunn cards. I mainly collect Warrick between 1997 and 2001, his first run with the Bucks, but there are a few outliers. Today, however, I want to focus on 1999. So here are my favorite 10 Warrick Dunn cards currently in my PC from 1999. We're going to start here. We've got the 1999 Playoff Absolute SSD Coaches Collection Gold out of 25. Playoff actually makes a couple of appearances in this episode. It's just a rare card. It's cool. Kind of has the same outlier as the 97 Essential Credentials with the clear backing. You can kind of see. It's hard to see what the image is they used in it. I think it's just the stadium, but they cleared it out. It's Warrick running. They only got a front picture, so you'll notice if you turn it over the back, it's the same picture, just flipped the opposite direction, which is kind of cool. Limited to 25. Hard parallel to find, gold. It's just a cool card from the 90s. Playoff put out some really cool stuff and doesn't get the love that they should, so I really love it. I love stuff that isn't as popular. Or well known, so this one fits the box for my collection just well. I have another one that kind of fits the same mold after that. This one is from another company that doesn't get the love they want, and one that I didn't know existed until I saw it, and when I did, I had to have it. So here we have the 1999 Pacific Crown Royal Franchise Glory Super Bowl 34 stamped parallel out of 25. So this is hand numbered out of 25. It's the same as the Franchise Glory insert from Crown Royal. However, this has the Super Bowl stamp in the bottom corner from 34. I guess they released it specifically like a secondary set. I'm not really sure. Curious to find out. But then it's hand numbered to 25. So I already like the insert, the Franchise Glory. I think Pacific did some really cool things. But then adding the hand numbering, the exclusivity of only having 25 copies. It's got the Super Bowl stamp, which means it's tied to a moment, and it's just one of my favorite cards from this year. Another cool one that a lot of people may not know about, but I love it. From there, we will go to a more popular release. This is the 1999 Skybox Premium 2000 min insert, and this is numbered out of 100. So basically, I'm just going to give my own take on this. It's Y2K was on the way. I don't know. Some of you may not have been alive. Some of you remember well. And certain people thought that the world might end. I didn't. I didn't know if there would be some kind of impact. I don't know the full details, but it had something to do with computers and the coding, and would they be able to handle the date change? But there's a lot more. You can research that on your own. I'm not the expert, but it's cool. It's got the ones and zeros, the coding, other elements. There's computer graphics. There's like little icons in the bottom right corner, and almost like atmospheric gases in the background. So it's really cool. And then it's got that warp tech technology that was kind of popular in that year. So it gives it just a nice little, I won't say shine, but it's got a nice reflection, and it's just a cool card. Great design. 90s innovation at its best. So it's just an awesome card. So I don't know what to say about that. I'm not the best at describing cards like some are, but I love that card. So I will have him at number 8. Now, number 7 actually has a lower number parallel, which I have, but for some reason these just stand out to me. So these are the 1999 Bowman Chrome Interstate refractors. They're numbered out of 100. This one was harder to find than you would think. But the cool thing about these are they have on the back the license plate from where the player's from. So Warrick's Louisiana, and it says Done Gone. And then behind the image of the player is a scene from that area. Now, this is from Louisiana. I don't know if it's Baton Rouge, where he's from, or New Orleans, the more famous. But I just thought it was a cool idea. It's got that 90s refractor shine, which is unmatched. And I don't know, it just speaks to me. So it's got a little bit more personal because it's got his hometown. I don't know. Maybe it just speaks to me. So I put that in. I do have the gold out of 25, but the golds from that year don't stand out a lot more than the regular refractors, and I would honestly say that they can be overlooked if you don't know what you're looking for, if you didn't see the serial number. From there, going back into playoff did some cool stuff. Like 1999, I realized maybe some of the coolest. I might be missing some stuff, but when I was making this list, playoff hit it 3 different times. So I was like, wow. So I don't know if that was their peak. I know, or maybe that's just the cards I have. I know 1998 had so much heat, so from Skybox. But here we go. Maybe playoff was making a run. Look at that thing. That gold. That is the 1999 Playoff Absolute SSD Honors, and that's the gold out of 25. I just love the die cut behind the playoff logo. Warrick running with the ball. I'm sure he was headed for the end zone, no doubt. Uh, Gold number to 25. It's just everything that's cool in 90s die cutting. I just love this card. The shine stands out. If you don't, they have other parallels. I think a red and a silver, so you can get them in a little bit higher serial numbering, but still a cool card. Um, some of the the better players are always going to be expensive. That's why I'm glad I collect Warrick. But multiple options for that parallel, but the gold is beautiful. It stands out. So highly recommend it if you like that kind of thing. And yeah, now this is another one I really like. So this is the 1999 Stadium Club Chrome first day issue refractor, and that's out of 25. Now the cool thing about Stadium Club Chrome was, and I think in 1998 they had an insert version of Stadium Club Chrome, maybe a subset, but the first and I believe only standalone year was 1999. So you had the base refractor, the first day issue, and the first day issue refractor. So it's a standalone set, which makes it unique, which I like. Um, the refractors are pretty cool, standard 90s. They have a little bit more shine than modern. I won't say that they pop as much as some of the other inserts, but they just look really good. Um, the cool thing is it's a limited print run too. What a lot of people don't know is the base refractors are only limited to about 500 copies, so they're not um, abundant like some of the others. Also, they feature the classic Stadium Club photography, so some great action shots. And then if you the premium is the first day issue refractor. Um, my personal take, the first day issue is cool, but it's just a base card with a stamp, and I'm not huge on the base cards from this set. I think the refractors look great, and having the first day issue refractor is pretty cool to me. Um, but if you don't want to dip your toes in the first day issue, it's not much different. It does have the stamp, just a little stamp in the corner. The base refractors are a great solution to that too. They're limited to about 500 copies, but they're not serial numbered. You just got to kind of do the math on the pack rate, and it's a great option. I like it. It's one of my favorites. All right, next four. Well, this one's also one of my favorites. Uh, the last submission by playoff. Well, yeah, the last one by playoff. Donruss Leaf playoff. We'll have one more, but this is the last one for 99. And one of my favorite cards of the 90s that doesn't get the love. Now, this is, look at that gold pop. Look at that thing. This is the 1999 playoff contenders finesse gold parallel out of 25. The gold on this thing just pops. It is beautiful. They have the calligraphy spelling out finesse in the background. I just love it. The image is good. Not too much. It's just a full gold border. Mine is a PSA 5 because from the look of it, it looks like maybe somebody opened a box and it was stuck to the card behind it. I'm just guessing. Some people call it rusting. It's hard to tell in this picture, but if I put it on the wall, I can barely see it. I have to hold it up close, and you can definitely see it. It's almost peeling of the gold. My guess would be it was stuck to a card, and it was a box that had been opened after being sealed for a lot of years. Still, though, glad to have it in the collection. I love this. Now, if you can't find the gold of your player, there's a blue and a red parallel that are equally as shiny, equally as beautiful. And depending on what team you get, sometimes the blue, I know the Peyton Manning blue is cool because it matches well with the Colts jersey and the red too. So those are very cool cards. One of my favorite sets from the 90s. Underrated. A lot of people don't know about it, but highly recommend it if you get a chance to pick up something from that. The playoff contenders, it's gold, red, and blue. All right, now we get into the heat of the order. So, heat of the order. Here we have my very first one of one from the 90s for Warrick, and one I did not want to let get out when I first saw it. When I didn't know much about these at the time, but I know 90s one of one, and I knew it was beautiful. So, my very first one of one. This is the 99 Topps Gold Label Class 3 Red one of one. Now, a little bit about Gold Label. Gold Label has 3 classes. They also have 9 different one of ones total for each player. There's a standard one of one, there is a black one of one, and a gold and a red one of one. Now, really, the imagery, the cards, they're beautiful. Like, top notch. Gold Label is beautiful, hands down. But the only real difference is the stamping in where it says Topps Gold Label at the top. Like, that's the discernible difference. So, there's 9 one of ones, 3 different images. That, unless I'm wrong, I could be mistaken. So, but having any of those is just great. I love the red stamping, so I think I would prefer the red, but I don't know for sure. I haven't seen the other ones, but having one of the 9 is pretty darn cool. And it was my first one-on-one from the 90s of work, so definitely has a little meaning. Graded it myself, got a 9, which is cool, and I just love it. It's one that'll be with me for a long time. Now this card, this is my most recent acquisition, and if it weren't for the card that's number one, might be my favorite right now because it is the newest. It's one that I did not know existed, and when I found out, I really wanted this. Now, this is the 1999 SPX, Upper Deck SPX, but more known as SPX. It's the Spectrum one of one parallel. So there's 2 separate parallels, the Radiance out of 100, and then there's the Spectrum one of one. So I didn't even know this existed until recently, and I got a message from a guy who offers me Warrick Dunn cards all the time. Like, he knows I like him. If he comes across something cool, he offers it up. Well, at the time, I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Baby on the way. Had to buy a new minivan because there's 5 of us and 2 dogs. So I couldn't do it, and it was devastating. I really wanted the car, but family first, you know. And so we got through everything. You know, the baby was born, car was born. I'm like, all right, I'm set. I'm gonna see if he still has it. He unfortunately had sold it. He's like, I know the guy. I'll reach out, and I was like, cool, you know. Well, he reached out. The guy was like, not for sale. Guy was a Warrick Dunn collector, you know. I'm like, all right, I respect that. It sucks. It hurts my heart, but I respect it. Fast forward, I don't know, 6, 8 weeks. I had some works listed on eBay when I was trying to raise some money for everything we had going on. and I pulled them down. I was like, I don't want to get rid of these. These are some of my better works. Well, I pulled them down, I don't know, probably a week prior. So I get this message, hey man, I was looking at this card. Did you sell it? Is it gone? And we started talking. I'm like, no, I collect work. I wanted to pull it down. It's keep it in the PC. Well, long story short, I started talking to the guy. He's also a Warrick Dunn collector, which was cool. We had a lot in common. Somehow made it to Instagram, showing each other cards, and then he showed me this. I'm like, oh my gosh, you have the card that I can't get out of my head. I wanted that. Congratulations, that's awesome. Kept talking, and led with, hey, if you're ever interested in letting that go, let me know. I think it was the next day I showed off the cards that I had pulled down. There was Central Credentials, there was Rubies from 98, I believe, and just a few other things. And we started talking. I'm like, hey, if you ever want to get rid of this, I'd be willing to part with some of these bigger ones. So it took a couple days and we worked out a deal. Now, and he was reluctant to let it go. He collects done. It's a really cool 101. And what I gave up was what I think was a lot of key cards from Warwick's years. I've been chasing Warwick for 3 years, and some of those cards I've only seen once and took me years to find. But I really wanted this card so bad. So the cool thing is, like, and what will always mean the most to me is it's the first really big trade I've ever done. I'll remember that story. I'll remember that collector. I got to meet a really cool Warrick Dunn collector. We had a lot to talk about in that aspect, and it's got a lot of meaning behind it. So that is my number two card. Once again, it's the 1999 SPX Spectrum 1 of 1. So I love that card, and I will have that forever. Now that one came with a great story. It's one of my favorite cards in my collection. Um, and it's hard that I would not put that near the top. There's so many great cards. It would be top 10, but this card rivals my number one, and it's just because I think it's the only or rivals everything, and maybe my number one. I don't know, but that's just because it's the only one of its kind. This is the 1998 Leaf Certified Gridiron Gear NFL Shield 1 of 1. To my knowledge, the only NFL Shield Warwick has from the 90s. It's my first big purchase when I started collecting Warwick, and the biggest card I'd ever purchased at the time. I think it was $350, which to me for a card was just insane. But I knew it was my favorite player, the player I wanted a PC, and it was the NFL Shield, which are almost impossible to come by. I'm so glad I bought this when I did because I can't imagine what it would go for now. But it's my favorite card. It reminds me of my first big purchase I ever made for work. Big for me. I'm not $1,000 card guy. I've got some more expensive works, but my big purchases in that range are few and far between, and under five in my lifetime. So this card just means the world to me. It's one of the coolest cards there. He may have some more shields in the 2000s, but to my knowledge, this is the only shield from the 90s in the Bucks when I like to watch him. It's also got the game worn wording on the back, which you like to see. It says the enclosed swatch or jersey from was cut from an authentic game used jersey personally worn by Warrick Dunn. The authentic game use jersey was obtained and is guaranteed by Donruss Trading Card Company. So that's the wording I personally would like to see. There's different versions, but game used by Warrick Dunn. So it solidifies the 1 of 1. I know there's things out there that people worry about switching patches, but I really believe this is legit. I don't think there would be a need to switch a shield because it doesn't get much better. And I just love this card. So this is my number one card from 1999 and pretty close to the top of the collection altogether. 99 had two of my top 10 cards in it between that Spectrum and the Shield. So 1999 was a good year. 1998 was a great year. And that concludes this. Now, I will say some of the cards I traded away in that trade I talked about might have made this list. That's why this is top 10 in my current collection that are my favorites. And there's also cards that I haven't found yet that I'm still searching for. But I do love collecting Warrick. I will continue. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any super rare Warricks, at Warrick Dunn PC on Instagram. And thank you again for watching. Until next time, see ya. Haha, I gotcha. I'm back. I made a mistake. I forgot two cards. Sorry, number 9 and 10, you are no longer on the list. But what we do have are two of my favorites. They're probably not top two, but they are two of my favorites from 1999, and that is the Precious Metal Gems out of 50, base and NFL PD. I mean, these things speak for themselves. 90s Precious Metal Gems, my favorite cards between Precious Metal Gems and Credentials. Uh, Probably two of the most popular sets of the 90s, and they just don't disappoint. This one specifically, base Precious Metal Gem, the gold PMG, as you will, just looks great. Another great pose for Dunn, like a steel background, just a beautiful card. So we're gonna bump 9 and 10 and add those two in, and yeah, there it is. That is my top 12 from 1999. So later.